On the evening of the 4th of February, America's President Donald Trump stood side by side with Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for one of the most astonishing press conferences in all of American history. While speaking, Trump announced to the shock of everybody present that the Gaza Strip's future was going to be neither Palestinian or Israeli. It was going to be American instead. Trump declared that the United States would be taking control over the Gaza Strip in a long-term ownership position, that America would be responsible for dismantling all of the territory's unexploded bombs and other dangerous weapons left over from the past 15 months of war, that America would level all of the buildings in Gaza and get rid of all of the destroyed infrastructure and rubble, and that America would then rebuild the territory into what Trump referred to as the Riviera of the Middle East. A futuristic vision of the territory full of luxury condos and skyrises on prime Mediterranean beachfront property. Then, once Gaza was fully rebuilt and transformed into something completely different, Trump declared that people from all over the world would come to live in Gaza, including some of the former Palestinian residents. Now, there's a lot to unpack from this declaration, but since it was made, Trump and his White House staff have both clarified and contradicted many of the plan's key details. For one thing, Trump himself has repeatedly asserted since he made the announcement that he's completely serious about it, adding on to Trump's other declared territorial ambitions for America like Greenland and the Panama Canal. While Trump initially refused to rule out the idea of using American troops themselves to secure Gaza, that has since been significantly walked back by his press secretary and by himself. They now insist that no American troops would be used in securing Gaza at all, and that no American taxpayer dollars would be used to rebuild the territory either. On social media, Trump has since insisted that at the conclusion of the fighting in Gaza, whenever that time comes, Israel would have fully resettled all of the millions of Palestinians away from Gaza elsewhere, and that Israel would then hand over the control and administration of Gaza over to the United States. Whereafter, the US and international partners, like supposedly the oil and cash-rich Arab Gulf states, would work to redevelop Gaza into Trump's vision of the Riviera. Trump's press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, hastily assured reporters at the White House the day after Trump's announcement that any Palestinian displacement away from Gaza was only going to be temporary and would not be permanent. But then, just a few days later, during an interview on Fox News, Trump contradicted his own press secretary on this issue by stating that the Palestinians would not, in fact, be allowed to return back to Gaza afterwards, because they would supposedly have, quoted from him directly, much better housing somewhere else and a new permanent place. Now, I'm not going to mince words here. Trump's suggested plan for Gaza is the complete ethnic cleansing of more than 2 million Palestinians from their homes. Trump has insisted that the Palestinians will supposedly want to leave Gaza voluntarily, but there's no practical way that this is even remotely in the realm of possibility. The Palestinians of Gaza will never, under any circumstances, just simply agree to what's essentially another Nakba for them, repeating their ancestors' violent displacement amid the creation of Israel in 1948, that forced many of them into the Gaza Strip to begin with. Any removal of them from Gaza will require brute force, either by Israel or by the United States. The Geneva Conventions are also clear on the criminality of such a plan if it is actually to be seriously considered and carried out. They explicitly forbid mass forcible transfers of population from occupied lands regardless of the motive, while the International Criminal Court explicitly regards forcible population transfers from occupied territory to be a war crime or crimes against humanity. By every definition of international law, Trump's suggested Gaza plan is a blatant war crime at best, and it has revoltingly made the ethnic cleansing of millions an official stated policy of his administration. To only add on to the legal challenges of such a plan, there's also no clear legal mechanism or authority on which the United States could even assume control over the Gaza Strip in the first place. And that's only the beginning of the plan's problems. While Netanyahu and Israelis at large have overwhelmingly approved of Trump's plan since it was announced, it has been almost universally rejected and condemned by not just the Palestinians in the Arab and Muslim worlds, but by pretty much the entire rest of the world beyond America and Israel as well.